Hey there, Mr. Witherow here. Today we're going to talk about systems of equations in word problems. Remember, systems means that we have two equations with two variables. All right, so for sure we're going to have two variables, two equations. Now here's some tips here. We're going to define the variables, and then we're going to set up the equations and solve. And then the other key thing is that we have to make sure that we identify the answers. Sometimes they ask for both numbers. Sometimes there's a type that maybe asks for like the larger number, or when we get down here, they're going to ask for the cost of each, right? Or how many of each, right? So make sure that we look at the question and answer the question, not just be put in a coordinate point, all right? All right, here we go. First one, sum of two numbers is 20. Difference between 3 times the first number and twice the second is 40. All right, so let me zoom in here a little bit. All right, so I define the variables. Okay, so we're talking about two numbers, so let's just make x and y. X is the first, y is the second. All right, no big deal. All right, so the sum is adding, so x plus y is equal to 20. And then the second equation is a little bit more difficult, so we're going to say the difference between 3 times the first and twice the second. So 3 times the x, difference is minus, and then 2y is equal to 40. All right, so there's our two equations, two variables. So now we have to make sure that we eliminate one of the variables by multiplying the top equation. Right? So let's eliminate the y. So that means that I'm going to multiply this one by 2, right? Multiply both sides. So this becomes 2x plus 2y is equal to 40. And then this one just slides over. 3x minus 2y is equal to 40. All right? Perfect. So since we're eliminating the y, we have opposite signs. We're going to add. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 40 plus 40 is 80, and then x is 16. So since x is 16, what do we add to 16 to get to 20? We would add 4. So there's our two numbers, 16 and 4. All right, so again, define the variables, set up the equation, solve, answer the question. Let's try another one. The sum of two numbers is 25. One number is twice the second number plus 7. What are the two numbers? All right, so again, x is your first, y is your second. All right, let's take sum of two numbers is 25. So that's that x plus y is equal to 25. The second equation says one number, so let's pick that to be x. One number is means equal, twice the second number, so 2y, plus 7. All right, what are the two numbers? All right, cool. So this one's substitution. We say that x is 2y plus 7, so I can take this information and plug it up here for x. So now that becomes 2y plus 7 plus y is equal to 25. So this one's a substitution problem. And so we're going to combine these terms because they're on the same side of the equal sign. So 3y plus 7 is equal to 25 minus 7. So 3y is 18. That makes y 6. So if y is 6, I can plug that right in here to find out that x is 2 times 6 plus 7, or 12 plus 7. So that's 19. So x is 19, y is 6. 19 plus 6 is 25. Perfect. All right, not bad. So make sure that you are writing some of this down, taking some good notes when you're doing this. Sometimes they're not just talking about two numbers. Sometimes they're going to talk to us about buying things and buying two different things and doing it twice. So this time, what we're going to have here is that we're gonna have envelopes and notebook paper. So what I do is I always just take, if it's not an O or if they're not the same letter, then I'll just take the two letters and make those my variables. So E is gonna be for envelopes and P is for paper, right? We can make that, we can do that. All right, so 3 boxes of envelopes, that's 3E, and 4 boxes of notebook paper, so plus 4P. And how much did that cost? $13.25. The second time we went in, or second person, bought 2 boxes of envelopes, so 2E plus 6 boxes of notebook paper, so 6P, and that total was $17 even. All right, so sometimes what happens when we do elimination is the fact that sometimes we only multiply one equation, but sometimes we have to multiply both equations. Remember, when we have to eliminate, we either multiply one or both equations to get rid of one of the variables. So in this case, it looks to me, I want to eliminate the E, right? So if I did that, then I'm going to multiply this by 2 and this one by 3. So this one by 3 and this one by 2. So let's rewrite the equation, right? So this becomes 6E plus 8P is equal to 2650. And then the bottom one is 6E plus 18P is equal to $51. So now we can eliminate the E, right, the envelopes, by subtracting, since they have the same sign. So 6 minus 6 is 0, that we have eliminated that. 8 minus 18 is a negative 10P, and 2650 minus 5150 is a negative 2450. So if we divide by negative 10, P is $2.45. So remember, they're asking us for the cost. So for the paper, it's $2.45. So what about the envelopes, right? The box of envelope. So now what's going to happen is that we're going to take this information, right? And remember, we can plug it in there. Let's plug it in here. Let's go right here. That means eliminate. Don't look at the times 2. So this is 3E plus 4 times $2.45 is equal to $13.25. So this becomes 3E plus, if I did this math, it's 980 is equal to 13.25. We're going to subtract 980 from both sides, right? And we're going to get $3.45. So we're going to get 3x is equal to $3.45, which is x is 115. So E is 115. So used to x and y's. So this is $1.15. So there we go. So the envelope, the box of envelope was $1.15. The notebook paper was $2.45. There we go. Perfect. All right. And last one. Maybe we'll throw a bonus one in there with money. So just hold on. We'll see. All right. So it looks like the recreation department ordered a total of 100 baseballs and bats for the summer baseball camp. Baseballs are $4.50 each. Bats were $20. The total purchase was $8.22. How many of each item was ordered? So how many of each? So this is not a dollar amount. This is just going to be a number. All right. So how many baseballs and how many bats? So we need 2 equations. So let's write our variables. Well, we can't use B for both of them. So let's just go back to X and Y's. So X is baseballs and Y are bats. All right. So how many total did we buy? We bought 100 but we don't know which one and which, but we know that's just the two. So we would say X plus Y is equal to 100, because we know baseballs and bats all add up to 100. Now we get to the dollar amount, right? So each baseball is $4.50. So I'm just going to write 4.5 X plus, and the bats were $20 a piece, and they spent $822, right? You don't have to put the dollar sign in here. That's what we got. All right, so here we go. So now we have to multiply this top one by either 4.5 or by 20, whichever one you want to do it. Let's multiply it by 4.5, because I'm going to get rid of the X. I multiply both sides by 4.5 so I can eliminate this X here. So this becomes 4.5X plus 4.5Y is equal to 100. The bottom equation stays the same, 4.5X plus 20Y is equal to 822. Since the X are the ones that I'm going to eliminate, and they're the same sign, we're going to subtract. So 4.5 minus 20 is negative 15.5y. And 100 minus 822 is, oh, that's not 100, sorry, that's a mistake. This is 450. Thank you for catching that. 450 times 100. I don't know why I wrote that. So 450 minus 822 is a negative 372. My bad. Remember, that's why I put it here, and even though I put it here, I still missed it. Make sure that when you multiply one of the equations, you multiply both sides of the equations, all right? Okay, so then we're going to divide, and we're going to get y is equal to 24, all right? So y was bats, so we know that we've got 24 bats. Well, again, they won 100, so 100 minus 24 is 76 baseballs. There we go. All right, pretty cool. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about systems in word problems. Define the variable, set up the equation, and then identify the answer. All right? Okay, one last problem. One last problem is this. I'm going to remove this. And I've got these coins here, right? So these coins, if I said to you, oh, dimes going everywhere. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, this one's being stubborn. There we go. Okay, so here are 77 coins that add up to $6.50, right? Okay, so what do? They want to know how many dimes and how many nickels, right? That's what they want to know. So what would we do here, right? We need to remember that we have to define the variables, set up the equations, and then answer the question, right? Okay, so we have, I'll move this over here. We know that we have dimes plus the nickels is equal to 77, right? The number of dimes and the number of nickels is going to be 77. So now, how much is a dime worth? A dime is worth 10 cents, and a nickel is worth 5 cents, so make sure it's 0.5 is equal to, and then how much does it cost? $6, or how much is that? $6.50. So there's our two equations. So now what we have here is that we have the physical amount of things, how many dimes and how many nickels, and then the cost, or the monetary thing of it, right? How much is it worth? So now the first thing I would probably do is I would probably eliminate these decimals, right? So it looks like there's a 2 decimal here, so I'm going to multiply this one by 100 right away, right? So if I multiply by 100, remember I just got to move it over 2 spots. So this is D plus N is equal to 77. This becomes 10D plus 5N is equal to 650, all right? I'm gonna erase that 7 and put it over there. There you go. That's the way that's lined up. All right. Now you can notice I got rid of the decimal. By multiply by 100 means I just moved the decimal. So now let's get rid of the nickels, right? So I'm gonna multiply this by 5 and multiply this by 5. So I've got 5D plus 5N is equal to 385. 77 times 5 is 385. The second one comes down, 10D plus 5N is equal to 650. Since these are the same sign, I'm going to subtract. So I've got negative 5D is equal to a negative 265. Divide by negative D, or by negative 5, and I'm going to get D is 53. So that tells me there are 53 dimes in there. All right, cool, 53 dimes. Well, then what's 77 minus 53? Well, that would be 24. So there's our answer. And we can check that, right? We can do some real quick checking there. Well, 53 dimes is $5.30. And 24 nickels, 24 times 5 is $1.20. And that's $6.50. There we go. Done deal. Pretty cool. All right. So remember, with dollars, or with money, you're going to have the physical thing. How many of these? How many different things here? That's the 77. Then how much are they worth, right? How much are these two things worth? This one's worth 10 cents. This one's worth 5 cents. And the total is $6.50. So there's always going to be those two things that you're going to have to deal with. All right? Keep having some fun with math.